sweetie. Oh, sorry. I must have, fallen asleep waiting for you to get home. Sorry. Yeah, I was going over the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. Yeah, the new book, with Matt Mercer's world, Wildemount. Well, it's Exandria, but the setting of this particular one is Wildemount in their current timeline. Anyway, it's super great. So, I know I use an original world for our campaign, but there's some really good reference materials in here. And one thing that I absolutely love that they included was the, full list of races. I think minus the Luxodon and the Warforged. But, like, for our setting purposes, like, it even has the Tabaxi, which is super cool. But yeah, it's a really big range of options, and I'm so excited. And you would normally have to buy, like, a bunch of books for this, but the amount of detail that he put into this, I mean, it gets really cool. Let me go over some of the things I've already, like, marked in here. So, again, I use the original world, but I have some of the settings that he describes saved in here because I really like how he describes them and kind of the vibe they give off. Of course, I have the Library of the Cobalt Soul because that's kind of like one of the settings that I use. And then let's see, what else do I have tagged? So this is an organization called the Revelry, and they're kind of like, well, they are pirates, but they're kind of allies with the Clovis Concord, and I just kind of like borderline good guy pirates, and I've always just liked that kind of mindset. I always found it really fun to work with. I have Hupperduke saved because, I mean, it's a gnomish city full of inventors, and that's so cool. Now, I also have the Vergis Sanatorium. Vergison? Oof, I am not good with these names. But the Sanatorium saved because I might use that for some issues you guys and the party run into in the future. I just thought that was a really kind of a fun and dark setting. And then I have the Alawax Sanctuary because I liked the idea of doing kind of a wintry sort of setting. I thought that would be kind of different and challenging for you guys since, we haven't really done anything like that before. Of course, I have Blightshore saved because of some stuff that I'll go over later. But I liked the idea that there's this cursed land, and there is a cursed land in the setting that I've created, and I like his vibe for it, and I want to kind of alter and kind of bend some of the ideas because I think they're really fun. Let's see, who else do I have saved? Alright, so let's see. So there's the races. Okay, so released as part of the races, and why I really wanted to include Blightshore, at least for reference, is the Hollow one, which is a super interesting thing that could happen And I'm wondering if this would be great. I mean, if, like, it's specifically in this campaign, if you die in the Blight Shore, you kind of come back as a pseudo-zombie, but you're still you, which I think is super fascinating. And like, let's see, he has the new variants on the fighter, which I saved, and of course he has the Dunamancy spells, which I think are amazing. One that really stuck out to me was Reality Break. So it's an 8th level conjuration, technically still Dunamancy spell, but okay. So you shatter the barriers between reality and timelines, thrusting a creature into turmoil and madness. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or it can take reactions until the spell, or it can't take reactions until the spell ends. The affected target must also roll a d10 at the start of each of its turns. The number rolled determines what happens to the target, as shown in the Reality Break table. Okay, so at the end of its turn, the affected creature can repeat the wisdom save to end the spell's effect if it's successful. So it's essentially like a variation on another madness casting, but it is so flavorful with some of the descriptions. And you know me, I'm all about the flavor of the character creation and like your characters doing things. Like, if you have an arcane trickster, maybe they're not like casting spells, maybe they're actually an alchemist. And so for Phantasmal Force, instead of creating this big arcane illusion, you throw this vial, and when it affects the creature you're fighting, all of a sudden it starts hallucinating and seeing all these crazy visions. And I mean, as long as it still fits within the text and it's not throwing off gameplay, I'm all about additions or fluctuations in that style. Or like, one of the examples that actually Matt and Liam O'Brien used is essentially Bigby's hand, but it's the cat's paw. And so, I mean, there's so much you can add to your character, bending certain spells or certain effects to your character's specific views and desires. And I think that adds such a depth to the game, and it adds so much more to the world that you create. The backgrounds that he's added are really, really good. My favorite, because I'm a sucker for a good bard, is of course the Grinner. And so I definitely, because there is, not that you know this yet, there is definitely a secret organization within the world, and I like the concept of the Grinner. Okay, so the Golden Grin began in the far-off land of Taldore, trading secret messages through a network of bards and minstrels to undermine the Iron-Fisted King's authoritarian rule. Today, Taldore is a relatively peaceful republic, and some of the Grinners have grown restless for tyranny to raise its ugly head again. Alright, let's see. A contingent of such Grinners traveled to the Menagerie Coast to set up a network of secret bases in the city of the Clovis Concord, for which they are presently working their way up to the highest echelons of the Dwendalian Empire. You are a Grinner. Your goals are to spread freedom and inspire hope, or, in time, revolution in the hearts of the oppressed. I mean, how amazing is that? And you get, like, skill proficiencies with deception, performance, you get thieves' tools and a musical instrument. It's so... I mean, think of a paladin who service, let's see, not necessarily a trickster god. but a more, like, when you think of like old school gods like Odin, while the head of the pantheon, was still pretty tricksy, and he loved knowledge. So essentially, a god like that, or like in his setting, Ayun would totally have grinners, because they're all about getting information, and they're not necessarily lawful good. I mean, they want you to do the right thing, but like, come on. Isn't that, I just love that whole turn. And then of course you have the Volstrucker agent, which is if you want to go edgelord, which, I mean, some people do. I totally respect that. But try, not to cut yourself on all that edge. Let's see. He has a ton of, like, story layouts and story hooks. And, like, the world building he adds to this, like, it talks about in the backgrounds and, like, the different regions you're from, like, the favorite foods you would have, which is just, I mean, it's awesome. Like, who puts that much thought into such flavored settings? Oh, I just think it's so good. And there's like little handwritten notes and things that you would see along your adventures. Some basic maps. Let's see. I have a couple of the hooks saved, just because if we need to do a quick one-off, or if I need to kind of do something kind of derailing to the main story, I might throw something like this in there. And a lot of them add a good amount of like texture and vibe, and they're all based in like different environments, which I could totally like adjust to fit within my world, which I think you could do that with almost any setting. But I liked his idea behind writing these. And then let's see. Oh, and his magic items are amazing. Okay, so one of my favorites is an amulet, which I'm not going to tell you about. It's just awesome. It's just, trust me, it's awesome. Okay. And let's see. Oh, okay. The battering shield. Okay, so while holding this iron tower shield, you gain a +1 bonus to AC. So with the shield, it's a total of a +3. So that's actually pretty great to your armor class. Additionally, the shield has 3 charges and regains 1d3 expended charges at dawn once per day. If you are holding the shield and you push a creature within your reach at least 5 feet away, you can expend a charge to push the creature an additional 10 feet, and you can knock it prone or both. So, I mean, like, the one that is arguably kind of broken, but it's supposed to be considered wondrous, is the spell bottle. So it's essentially a spell storage ring and a counter spell all kind of in one, and it could hold up to a 5th level spell. And then if someone is casting at you and the spell bottle is empty within 60 feet of you, you can use your reaction to try to catch the spell. If it's 3rd level or lower, it automatically fails, and then otherwise you would roll an intelligence check, like you normally would with a counter spell anyway, if you're an arcane caster, and that's just, I mean, that's incredible. And I know it's supposed to be wondrous, but like, how many people actually play by those rules? I'm also excited about the addition of the bestiaries, which I'm not going to go over with you because I want some of these monsters to be a total and complete surprise. I think it'll be great. I'm totally chuffed. And I've pinned a bunch of pages, and I have lots of little tabbies in here. So I'm really looking forward to what dangers I can expose you guys to. Aren't you excited? Hello, and thank you for listening to another session. I've been your hostess here at girlfriend.exp. I hope you enjoy this additional look into some Dungeons and Dragons literature. It's something I have a lot of fun with. So, I hope you're all doing well. And until next time, let's be alone together.